Well, hello. I'm Katie Rempe, designer of your favorite magical knitting patterns, Light from Lantern. And today, I'm very excited because this is the last video of 2025. But no matter when you're watching this, I know what's included is going to inspire you, and I can't wait to see how you customize it to be exactly what you need. Today, we are going to be making a 12-piece reflection calendar, which I'm calling 2026 Monthly Knitspiration. What does that mean? Well, it means that I'm going to be using some simple tools here to give myself some inspiration on the year ahead and some guidance because it doesn't hurt. So, if you want to follow along with me, here's what you're going to need. This is your supplies. Kind of. Number one thing you will need is 12 envelopes. It doesn't really matter the size, it just matters that there's 12, one for each month. You'll also need a pen or a marker, and if you want to make it more magical, of course, a tarot deck or an oracle deck. I'm actually using 3 different decks. I'm going to be using the Yarn Tarot, and the Spells deck, and this Spellbound Doodle deck from Pacific Knit Co. I'm also going to be using this swatch card library that I have from UU Yarns. And of course, a journal, very important for reflecting. Now, you can certainly have more or less of these items, so use your intuition and include whatever you like. So step 1 is to gather all your supplies. Now we're ready for step 2. Step 2 is super important. Grab your journal and write an intention for the year. Really think about this. It's going to add context to what each of these monthly envelopes are going to contain. So, for instance, let's build mine together. That way you can get inspiration on how you might want to build yours. A good intention should be positive and concise, so keep it short, but really look at how you're wording everything. Make the wording positive. Make it as if it's already happening. So maybe your goal next year is to expand your knowledge of your craft. Your intention could be something like, I learn new skills quickly and easily, or I enjoy learning new skills to excite and reinfuse my craft, something like that. Just try to avoid putting things in there that you don't want, like, I don't want to be stressed. Well, instead of saying something like that, you could say, I want to be more excited for when challenges come my way, something like that. This is when you're going to want to grab your journal and write it down because I highly believe that the act of actually using your hand, if you have the ability to, and writing it with a pen and on paper, very old school, is actually extremely, extremely potent and will help you take the little bit of extra time to put your will into it whenever we commit to putting something on the page. Just think of having like a totally empty notebook. It's always like a little bit scary to break it in. So just go for it. Don't be worried, be excited, and let's dive into this year with more excitement. And in fact, that is my intention in a way, is my craft is exciting in 2026 and allows me to meet other people, which is definitely going to happen because, spoiler alert, if you've been a fan of my podcast Knit a Spell, it's been on hiatus for a while, but it's coming back for a season next year, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm so excited to share more about it, but that's for a later video. So if you're excited to learn more, be sure to like and subscribe because that's how you can get notices of all my fun videos. Okay, so I've written, my craft excites me and offers opportunity to build community. Yay! If you'd like to share your intention, you can feel free to do so in the comments, but if you'd like to keep it secret, that's of course okay too. Now that we've built our intention, it's time to get our packet together. So pull out your 12 envelopes, pull out your tarot cards, shuffle them up, and let's start by labeling each one with what month it is. All right, so I have my marker and I have my envelopes, and I'm going to start by putting January on the first one and go through all of the months like that. I'm just using a plain black pen. You could certainly decorate this as much or as little as you like. I tend to think that when I end up finding myself overdoing things, it ends up making me not actually be able to do the project. So I like to first do it really simple, and then if I want to go back later and embellish more, I certainly can. So let's start with step 1. How many of these will I misspell? You can tell me in the comments. Summer solstice month. This one is my birthday month, and so I'm gonna do it a little bit more special. I love trees. It's very grounding. September, it's harvest season, so I feel like this is kind of fun and fitting. And plus, I'm always trying to grow things, and so this seems very right for this month. Oops, that ended up on another one. That's all right. Okay, this one's all about growing. And then we're back to spooky season. And finally, there. Now, we have them all finished. December, November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March, February, January. All right. Oh, June doesn't want to stay. May? You can't. Okay. Now that we have this done, the next step is to take our cards out and shuffle them, and we're going to put one of each in each month. So, as you are shuffling your cards, just remember to keep your intention in mind so that the cards know how to be helping you in the future. Since I have 3 different card decks that I want to include in each month, I'm going to shuffle them all first, and then we'll go month by month to start stuffing them. And then we will also include a blind color chip here, hopefully, so that I can surprise myself later. If you see it, it's not a big deal. You'll probably forget later, and it doesn't really matter. It's just for fun. These are really cool, this spell deck of cards, because it has a whole bunch of different things. So it has rituals, spells, recipes for love and empowerment and healing, and so much more. So it's really a fun deck that has a lot of different things to offer instead of it just being sort of like a typical oracle or tarot deck. Pretty cool. All right, so I will start by shuffling this one. Remember to keep your intention in mind. And whenever you feel like you've had enough shuffling, just stop shuffling. Usually that happens, and that's how I kind of know. Okay, next, the tarot. Tarot. The cards are pretty stiff, and I don't use this deck very much, so they're a little bit stiff, but I think that's okay. So, there we go. That one's ready. And now, this guy. Okay, so this comes with some pattern templates, which is pretty cool. So we're going to keep those out. And we're just going to include these guys. As you can see, there's all sorts of spell-themed, witchy things, sparkles, spider webs, birds, crows, whatever, etc. So we'll include one of these, and that'll give us some fun inspiration and feedback each month. So let's shuffle this real quick. There's not very many in here, so it's easy to do. Okay. So I'm going to take this and shuffle them up real good. Actually, maybe I'll put it in a bigger bucket. I'm going to use this Attenti bag full of needles. Okay, now I'm going to use this Attenti bag. Now it's not full of needles, and I'm going to put all the color swatches into there so that they're easier to grab, and I'm still just going to try not to look so that it can be a surprise. First, January. Okay, so what do? We grab one of these. We grab one of these. We grab one of these. We'll stick them all in the envelope. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes and reach for one of these color cards. You can see it. Oh no, I better not do that. I'll be watching this later to edit it. One more time. Not going to put it over there in front of the camera. Okay, so it has the little color card in there. So now I'm just going to seal it. These immediately are all pull tabs, so I don't have to lick anything that is gross. Okay, January. It's done. Secrets and help and guidance awaits us, and inspiration. Inspiration if you're a knitter like me. So just repeat this process, keeping your intention in mind as you do for all the rest of them. All right, I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to move this over here, get that out of the way. All right, this one I'm going to look at. It's okay. Ooh, it's yellow. Still a surprise. It was drawn at random. Okay, April. May. Didn't the spoilers on those colors, but I'm okay with it. Ooh. Well, one time, envelopes one at a time. So good. Okay, I'm going to choose this color intentionally. What's in here? Ooh, okay. I'm going to have this berry punch. I want it to be fun, happy, full of friends. It's a good month. Also, I'm going to put a little extra good luck oil on this one. This good luck oil is from Madame Pamita. She makes it. You can get it at Parlor of Wonders. Just going to put it inside. And I'm also going to put two on the outside. Bring it in. So be it, or even better. Thank you. The special one right there. Okay. October. Hey, November, we're almost done. And finally, for this one, I'm going to do the bottoms. That's the end, and that's the end. Oops. All right. Okay, I'm going to clean up all this real quick, and then we'll come back and finish things up. So there is one thing I kind of forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, which is important, and that is these tarot decks and oracle decks that you're going to utilize for this year-long project, they're going to be missing cards for a year. So make sure that you're okay with that before kind of sacrificing one of your decks for a year to use for this year-long project. If you want to use them again in the future, they're going to be missing a few cards, which maybe isn't a big deal for you. And it probably doesn't really matter. I always think the cards can figure it out even if there's a few missing. But if that bothers you, just something to think about. Maybe use one of your maybe use one of your less utilized decks. Or use your favorite deck because you'll be seeing it every month and it's a great way to also connect to the cards. So just a heads up there. Okay, here we go. Now, I decided to let fate decide when it came to the tarot cards. So I shuffled them up and picked 12, and those are the ones that are in there. However, there's an entirely different approach that you could also do for this that is equally intriguing and just as good. And that is intentionally choosing the cards for each month. So maybe you already have an idea of what's coming up in the year ahead. And in September, because it's your birthday, you want it to be extra awesome, or you want to have an adventure, you want to go on a trip. So you pick like the 6 of Wands or something, like one of the traveling cards. You pick the Hermit because at Christmas you want to be by yourself or something like that. You know, you could be very intentional if you are familiar with the cards or an oracle deck and put what you would like to have reflected in that month instead of letting fate decide and reflecting on it from there. So again, 2 different ways that you can do it, both completely valid. And if you choose to do the other way, I'll be very interested. So please leave me a comment. So here is my large packet of envelopes. Whee! Very exciting. They're all packed with like little gifts. I can already tell you, I'm excited that it's like a year-long advent calendar in a way. Next, I'm going to choose a time frame where I'm going to plan to open these envelopes around the same time every month. I think it's important to be fairly consistent so that you have time to reflect on the past and the future and all that fun stuff. So in an effort to keep this at top of mind and not forget, first of all, I'm going to put on my calendar that the first of the month is when I'm going to plan to open the correlating card. However, if it ends up being like a couple of days sooner or a couple of days after because life stuff, then that's okay too. The next thing I'm going to do, and this is optional, of course. I mean, all this is optional, right? Is try to get all the stuff into the bottom here. And I'm going to use my 1-hole punch to put them all together. And then I'm going to put these on a hook next to my calendar so that I will not forget and I won't lose them because they'll be right in my creative space. And it's going to be really fun to like pull one of these off every month to look at it. Speaking of, what happens when it comes time to look at it? What do you do next, right? You're going to want to grab your notebook. So whenever you decide to open your envelope, grab your journal. This is going to be the same journal that you're going to use all year round. So make sure it has enough pages and everything. Even if you need like a new one, it doesn't have to be this big. This is just a huge one I happen to have on hand. In this journal, you'll write down which cards you got that month, what the color was that month, what the doodle deck was that month, and all those things should hit your intuition based on your intention. And writing them all in here will help you reflect because it doesn't always make sense at the beginning of the month. Sometimes it's like mid-month or end of month or like 3 months later or like 2 years later. Who knows? So having reflections written down and again, writing down with your actual hands really promotes intuition and it really gets you in that meditative state. So I really highly recommend it. Even if you have like music on and stuff, make it fun, make it like interesting for you. It's not work. This is something that you want to do. It's fun. And if you're not a person who typically is very good with keeping up with journaling, I suggest just going, again, super easy. Make this easy to succeed for you. So on the first of the month or whenever you decide to open your card, take everything out, write down what you got, write down your first impressions. And even if you don't do anything else, that is very valuable because the next month, you can take 2 minutes before opening that month and read back what you wrote for that prior month, and then write a couple of extra lines on what happened between then and now, because maybe some insights have happened. Maybe something that you got, one of the cards or the doodle deck, something has triggered something, a synchronicity that is related to your intention. And taking 2 minutes to reflect and write it down will really help, I promise. Which brings me to another very exciting announcement. This will be a reoccurring segment every month. I will be opening these with you so that you can see how the process goes, see how this year-long experiment does. Was this worth doing? We'll see in the future. I'm very excited and I hope you are too. If you want to go on this journey with me, all you have to do is subscribe. It's free, it helps my channel, and it will keep you informed on everything going on my channel. So I hope that this project inspires you. Will you try it? Have you done something like this before? How did it go? Do you have any other ideas for what you might want to stuff in your envelope for each month? Please leave a comment. Inspire me and others in the process. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, no matter what time of year it is, it's never too late to start your own Wheel of the Year. So if you see this video in March and you're like, shucks, I missed January, just start it from March to March. Make your own year. The only limitation is your own imagination. So I hope this inspires you, and I look forward to seeing who else is joining me in this magical knitspiration year ahead. Until next time, Merry Make! I'm gonna put it right next to my calendar.